Hi folks, I'm James and welcome to episode 18 of I Don't Want to Hold Your Hand, the Beatles Quarantine catalog, where I am attempting to play all 248 Beatles songs in chronological order while we are all stuck inside. Before we get into today's gigantic song, I am, as always, on YouTube, Instagram, and Venmo, in case you would like to subscribe, follow, or support the series. So the Beatles are in the midst of putting together their debut album, and they're a few hours into their insane 13-hour session at EMI Studios where they will record the remaining 10 songs they need to finish the album. And they just finished their first song of the day, There's a Place, which we did last episode. And now they're moving on to their second song of the day, a little tune called 17, which would be renamed I Saw Her Standing There. I Saw Her Standing There was a true Lennon-McCartney collaboration, but it was started by Paul. He was on his way home from a Beatles concert, and he was thinking of his 17-year-old girlfriend, and he had that first verse. He had the message, a little tune, but not much else. John and Paul skip school one day, and they hang out at Paul's childhood home, and they piece together the rest of I Saw Her Standing There. Now, Paul had the opening line of, well, she was just 17, never been a beauty queen. And John laughed and said, you must be joking. So together they came up with, you know what I mean. And Paul later said that it was a great line because you don't know what I mean. So John and Paul finished the tune and it becomes one of their go-to songs in their live sets. So it is no surprise when trying to record a live album at EMI Studios that one of the first songs they do is I Saw Her Standing There. Things to listen for in this song. Obviously, this tune starts off with possibly the most famous count-in in rock history with Paul screaming, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it just makes the song. Don't believe me? Listen to the American version where the 1, 2, and 3 were edited out. Something that always blows my mind when I'm researching these songs or looking at studio records or whatnot is seeing how quickly or how slowly it takes the Beatles to record a song. Later in their career, you'll see that it takes them sometimes a full month's worth of recording to finally settle on the way a song will go, while throughout their career, they'll do a song in one take and nail it and be done. And I Saw Her Standing There as one of those tunes. And that is directly because of their time in Hamburg, just playing night after night after night. They're able to do something like record 10 songs, 11 songs technically, in one day for the Please Please Me album, and songs like I Saw Her Standing There and Twist and Shout are done on one take. Now, I Saw Her Standing There, they will do 12 takes of it, but the first take is deemed the best. And while the version we all know and love is take one, the one part of it that is not is the infamous 1, 2, 3, 4 at the beginning, which is actually from take 9. It was taken off of take 9 and put on take 1 to really drive home the live feel that this song has. And being that it's the first song of the album, that 1, 2, 3, 4 really kicks off the live feel of the entire album. Other things to listen for in this song, I Saw Her Standing There has so many Beatles staples. It has hand claps. It has Paul giving a great rock scream heading into the solo. It has our first true George Harrison guitar solo in the Beatles' officially released catalog. And it has our very first Beatles hair flopping around, falsetto ooh that they will do a lot and that will make crowds lose their mind. This song has a little bit of everything. In past episodes, we've talked a lot about lyrics and melodies and songwriting in general. In this song, the thing I really want to point out is the instrumental ability of the Beatles. Paul's bass part in this song is super, super complicated. Listen to the original recording and just listen to the bass part and remember that while he's playing the whole time, he's also singing lead on this song. And not only do they have to do this live all the time, but this recording, as we've talked about, is basically live. There's no overdubbing, and this is the first take. These guys can really, really play these instruments. Now, Paul says he took this bass line note for note from Chuck Berry's 1961 song, I'm Talking About You. Regardless, it's a crazy complicated bass part. And as for George, his guitar playing in this song is incredible. Behind the verse, behind the chorus and the bridge, George is playing a whole lot of other great stuff that you should definitely keep an ear out for. One of the things that he's doing during the bridge when Paul is singing, "Well, my heart went boom," he is playing this really cool rhythm that's actually mirroring the bass part, but it changes rhythm halfway through. So he starts with, but then it changes to. It's very, very cool. Another cool thing to listen for on George's end is, as we've talked about before, the Beatles are big Carl Perkins fans, George Harrison in particular, and there's this really cool lick in this song that's very much a Carl Perkins kind of lick that sounds a little something like. And you'll hear that throughout the Beatles catalog, but you hear it again in this song. Last thing to listen for in this song, I Saw Her Standing There, is a crazy, crazy hard song to play. The bass line, very, very intricate. The guitar solo, very detailed. Even the rhythm guitar behind everything, as I just talked about, is very, very difficult. Paul's rock scream, I can't do that. Paul's vocal acrobatics, very few musicians can imitate that singing. This song is impossible for me to do by myself. It amazes me that the Beatles could do this on one take. So for today's version of I Saw Her Standing There, I will be bringing in two of my very, very good buddies. Brady Wease will be playing the lead guitar parts. Brady joined us for Cry for a Shadow a couple episodes ago. And singing the lead vocals will be my buddy Jim Hogan, who has one of the greatest voices that I've ever heard. And as you will hear listening to this very, very impressive Paul McCartney vocal is nothing to him. So big thanks to those two for helping me out. So please sit back and enjoy Beatles song number 18, I Saw Her Standing There.
1, 2, 3, 4!